Now there's something I never thought I would hear a major league pitcher say.
Humm, baby.
Enjoy this great game.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. This is Eric, and today talking about George Kirby, a young starting pitcher for the Seattle Mariners. This is a first-round pick from 2019, moved through the minor leagues relatively quickly, made his big league debut last year. Very solid arm for a very good Mariners team, a team that has been in contention for a playoff spot pretty much all season long, but they have started to struggle lately. Lost a game a few days ago, a game where George Kirby threw 6 strong, came back out for the 7th, struggled, was taken out before recording an out in the 7th inning, and when asked about it, had some very surprising comments that you really don't hear from a starting pitcher, and he's basically getting annihilated for those comments. I'll give my thoughts on it. And also, an article came out that actually said, hey, this guy looks like he'd be perfect for the San Francisco Giants. I'll definitely give my thoughts on that as well. And here he is right here after the game. George Kirby, visibly frustrated post-game. He gave up the game-tying 2-run homer on his 102nd pitch. And you see it right there in quotations, but we'll let the man say it himself. But this is just something you don't really hear from pitchers. Most pitchers will go out there until their arm falls off. They'll never admit they're not feeling well. They'll never say, maybe I should come out, It's very, very rare. And unless they have some kind of an injury or something, a few of them might be really honest and say, well, I'm feeling a little tired, but I think I can still go. They want to be out there. They're competitors. And that's just the way it is. I'm not saying George Kirby's not a competitor at all, because I'm sure he is. He's a great pitcher and everything, and there's something to say for being honest, but I'll get into all that here in a second. Let's just hear what George Kirby had to say.
I didn't execute. He had a good pitch. I wish I wasn't out there for the 7th, to be honest. So I was at 90 pitches, and I didn't think I needed to go anymore, but it is what it is. So
is that a conversation in the dugout, or is it?
It'll be a conversation soon. Yeah.
I didn't think I needed to be out there for the 7th. I was already at 90 pitches. I didn't think I needed to be out there. Whoa. I mean, again, that's insane, because most starting pitchers, that's their game, right? I mean, traditionally, their goal is to finish the game, but it just never happens anymore. And I think we're getting to the point where pitchers are coming up and maybe they never had a complete game their entire lives. This is not part of the game. It's not expected anymore, maybe. I'm not really sure. I'm curious about some of the comments here on Twitter. But I will say this. I'm not going to attack him because he's being honest, and I can't hate on that. And, if you aren't feeling well or if you're feeling a little fatigued, I think pitchers should be honest and say that. How you feeling, man? I mean, it's what's the point of even asking if every time you're like, I feel great, I can go? It's something about saying, hey, man, I'm feeling kind of fatigued right now. I'm starting to get tired. I think I'm starting to lose my location and everything. Just to be honest with you, I'd love to go out there. I want to go out there. I want to finish the game, but I also got to be honest. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. The way he's putting it, though, he's not telling us why. Like, were you fatigued? Were you feeling tired? It's just like the pitch count. I was at 90 pitches. Now, is this like a mental thing? You're feeling you're at 90, you're getting towards 100, and you're just checked out? I don't really get it. So I'm a little confused on it. But maybe he was feeling a little fatigued. And he just hadn't said that in his comments. But you can see the comment section. Zero accountability is exactly what you don't want to hear. I don't recall hearing an MLB pitcher say that. Anyone know of any other examples? I certainly do not. I remember Marichal complaining he should have only had to throw 226 pitches the night he threw 227. Back in the day, it's just insane. It's just insane, and we're at an era now where most nights, it feels like, as a Giants fan, we don't even have a starting pitcher, period. We have obviously, there's some pitcher out there to start the game, but there's no plans for that pitcher to go more than 1 or 2 innings, basically an opener. The Rays started this with Sergio Romo back, 2017, 2018. It was kind of a novelty, kind of something weird. Now it's totally normal, and we're doing it more often than the traditional starter. It's just insane, and it doesn't seem to be working. TJ is online, says just simply weak. Tom Sweeney, no way, I want that guy in the locker room. You know, I mean, I wouldn't take it that far because it's such a quick comment. Again, maybe he was feeling fatigued. I would have appreciated it more if he'd have said, "Yeah, I was starting to feel tired, feel fatigued," and which in that case, you tell the manager that. It's just a very strange thing to say, though. That I wish I wasn't out there for the 7th. I was already at 90 pitches, but it is what it is. Like, really? I mean, that's insane. But I don't want to hate on the kid or anything, but he's getting quite ridiculed. And there's an article that says he would be a perfect fit for the Giants. Why? I think the article is going to imply, I glanced through it, but I think it's going to imply basically that the Giants love using their bullpen. So, hey, if you like coming out the game early, you're a perfect fit. Now, some members of the San Francisco Giants have expressed displeasure, and fans as well, myself included, with the team's pitcher usage, which has leaned heavily on relievers and the diminished role of starting pitchers under Gabe Kapler. And while I will definitely give props to Gabe Kapler for the Giants' overall performance as far as wins and losses since he's come on board, after all, they did break a franchise record in 2021 with 107 wins. That has to be noted. Giants have not finished under 500 except in 2020, which they barely finished under 500 and almost made the playoffs. And this year we've been fighting for a wild card spot despite not having a team full of superstars. We've still played better than teams like the Mets, Padres, and Yankees. So, and here we are on September 18th, still talking about a potential playoff position. So I'll give Gabe Kapler credit, but I definitely am not a fan of the constant openers and diminished role of starting pitchers, even though I don't really think that's his fault. I think that's coming down from the front office. But facing the Rays on September 8th, Kirby, like I said, entered the 7th with a 4-2 lead. Did not pitch well. I think I said he did not get anyone out. Looks like he did get somebody out. He got Taylor Walls to ground out on pitch number 95 before giving a double up to Jose Siri and then the home run. And only then did Scott Service take Kirby out of the game. So I guess he did get somebody out. So I apologize about saying earlier that he did not record an out. But we've seen pitchers get pissed when they have to come out of game, get fights with the manager. Even it happened with the Giants themselves. He wasn't even a starter a couple of years back. Gabe Kapler was removing a pitcher out of the game. I believe it was Littell. And Littell just looked at him all sideways and had something to say and kind of just was pissed off right there in front of everyone. And I'm sure he got a talking to from Gabe Kapler. But Kapler would absolutely pull a pitcher for pitch count. This is what it's, and to me, the pitch count thing is kind of stupid. I mean, it's a metric. I believe it's a metric to pay attention to know. I'm not saying just ignore it, but there's no magic number that says, okay, this guy needs to come out now. Because some nights a pitcher may be strong at 90, may still be strong at 100. And other nights they may be ready to come out at 70. It just all depends. You know, different pitchers have different levels of stamina, not to mention different levels of stamina on different nights. And could feel better on certain nights than other nights. And could go stronger on certain nights than other nights. It's just like anything else. You know, it's just like a runner. Some nights, you know, as a runner, I go out there, I can run 8 miles. I feel fantastic. Other days, I don't know why. I feel sluggish. After 4, I'm moving slow. I'm not feeling good. It's just, you know, you can't really explain why, but the body is just going to, certain nights it's going to be there for you more so than on other nights. So we just rely on this number, 90. Oh, 100, can't go over 100. The magic 100 just happens to be this pretty 100. It means nothing or next to nothing. I mean, it means something. It means, okay, it's thrown a lot of pitches, but it's not the end all be all. Later on, he said they were emotional comments and that he apologized to Scott Service, and productive conversations have come out of his emotional comments that he gave.
Yeah, I just wanted to address what happened yesterday. Obviously, I screwed up, and that's not me. And Skip's always got to pry that ball out of my hands, and just super uncharacteristic of me as a player, and who I am out in the mound, and I love competing, and like I said, I just screwed up, and I'm really looking forward to next week, and just going forward, and enjoying the time with the team, and getting the playoffs and getting our work done.
So now you got to pry the ball out of his hand. I'm definitely a far cry from the original statement, but hey, I mean, like you said, he's a competitor out there. It's just a new era. It's a different era. I don't care. I mean, I know I'm not saying the kid's not. I think he is he's a really, really good pitcher. He's an all-star. He's solid. He's got a very bright career ahead. Got great stuff. And at the same time, he said that comment because he has come up in the analytical era, the era where you come out of games at 90, 100 pitches. And so he was able to say that comment, kind of blaming the management instead of just, saying, hey, I blew it. I gave up some runs there. And then, he's a young guy. And I think he's definitely learned his lesson. Now, I don't know if it's true that you really have to pry the ball out of his hand. If he's really that type of competitor, it sounds like he was told a few things to say. I'm sure they worked on this statement. Let's just be honest. They worked on this statement a little bit to try to play a little damage control, but it's all good. And, should the Giants think about that? Obviously, we can't just grit this guy. He's a rookie. He's not a rookie anymore, but he's a young kid with the Mariners. Probably not going to be a free agent for several more years. So, not really a realistic conversation, but would I love to have George Kirby? Hell yeah. I mean, you could trade for him, but next season or something, or in the offseason, but I don't think that's happening. The Mariners are definitely going to hang on to him. But big difference from San Francisco, where Ross Stripling complained the Giants were not letting him pitch when he was healthy, claiming he was on the Phantom IL. So we had our own drama, which was a little bit different because Ross Stripling wanted to pitch, said he could help this team. By the way, the other day he came in the game, didn't help this team at all, but hey, that is what it is. So interesting. And we have guys like Alex Wood, who wants to start. Giants kept using him in relief, finally let him start. And it's just crazy right now with the way that pitchers are being utilized. Insane. And the pitcher with the most games with at least 7 innings pitched this year, Logan Webb, on the top of that list, along with Framber Valdez. So happy to see that. George Kirby has 10. So it's just a really weird comment, but he's going to go out there and pitch to 6-7 innings. I wouldn't have loved that comment. I'm curious what Mariners fans think about that comment. But very solid arm. And right now the Mariners falling a little bit out of, they're still in it. 2.5 games back in the West. And what are they, about a game out? Yes, 1 game out in the wild card. So the Mariners still fighting for a playoff spot, but they're falling out. Definitely need to pick it up. And we'll see how that goes from there. So yeah, really interesting comment there from George Kirby. Really weird thing to say. Never heard anything like that in my life. A pitcher saying I shouldn't have been out there. I shouldn't have even been out there. I was at 90 pitches and felt like I shouldn't have been out there. Like, whoa. I mean, that's just a weird thing to hear. And then he says the pitcher's got to pry the ball out of his hand. Well, look, we're just going to move on from that. Hopefully we won't have this again, but definitely something a lot of fans are going to remember about George Kirby. You want someone who's really a competitor out there, but at the same time, like I said, you got to take that on yourself, man. If you're not feeling well, if you're not feeling like you're going to be able to pitch well, maybe you go up to the manager and say, hey, I think I should come out for the 7th. I'm feeling a little tired and fatigued at 90 pitches. He probably would have obliged and taken you out, I imagine. But let me know what you guys think down below. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. We'll talk to you next time.